Alright, fight fans. In mixed martial arts, there are fighters who chase glory, and then there are fighters who chase belonging. From the poverty of the Amazon to the bright lights of the UFC, Melquizael Costa has transformed isolation into identity. This is the journey of a man who refused to disappear. It began in the state of Para, Brazil, the son of a traveling pastor. His father moved between small congregations. Money was inconsistent. Food was not guaranteed. Humble beginnings is not a phrase, but a memory of empty cupboards and constant motion. Yet the absence of wealth was not the heaviest burden he carried. At 7 years old, white patches began appearing on his skin, vitiligo, in his neighborhood, where information traveled slowly and fear traveled fast. Other parents believed it was contagious. They pulled their children away from him. They told their sons and daughters not to touch him. The children listened. Costa spent his childhood avoided, whispered about, completely alone. By his teenage years, he had learned to hide completely. Long sleeves in the crushing heat, no shirt at the pool, no photographs. He refused to be seen, because every time he was seen, he was rejected. The turning point arrived. His sister brought 4 friends to the house, and one of them invited Costa to a boxing gym. He was dropped in his very first sparring session. That same friend then invited him to try jiu-jitsu, promising he could submit Costa with one arm. He was right. Costa was hooked and signed up that same day. At the gym, he removed his shirt to train, and nobody stared. Nobody whispered. Nobody moved their mat away from his. They just trained and rolled with him. They sparred with him. He realized that in a gym, nobody cares what your skin looks like. They care if you show up and give it your all. He showed up every single day, through injuries and exhaustion and doubt. But showing up did not pay the bills. Costa worked multiple jobs to support his training and his education. He sold popsicles on street corners in the Brazilian heat. He traveled to jiu-jitsu tournaments with barely enough fuel in his car. The dream felt distant, fragile, perhaps impossible. Then, late one night, he saw a UFC fighter, Scott Jorgensen, on the screen, with the same marks on his skin. A fighter with vitiligo is fighting in the UFC. That was the moment the ceiling shattered. Costa turned professional at 17 years old. He paid his dues on the Brazilian regional circuit, amassing 17 wins against 4 losses. He signed with LFA, the UFC's official feeder league. He lost his debut, then won 2 straight by TKO. And the contract he had dreamed of since he was a teenager finally arrived. Yet the UFC is the great humbler. His debut came on short notice at a higher weight class, with no real training camp behind him. He was simply not prepared. Thiago Moises submitted him in the second round. 7 months later, Steve Garcia knocked him out. 2 losses in 3 fights. His roster spot was no longer certain. His future in the organization hung in the balance. But true champions are defined by their response to defeat. Costa did not waver. He went back to the gym, and he went to work. Since those 2 losses, he has won 5 consecutive fights inside the Octagon. He submitted Andre Fili, a 13-year UFC veteran. He outworked Julian Erosa, a proven, talented fighter. And this past December, he met Morgan Charrier, a surging contender on a 7-fight finish streak, and stopped him with a head kick. Just 74 seconds into the very first round. 5 straight wins. This version of Melquizael Costa is a complete mixed martial artist. He lands over 4.5 significant strikes per minute. A relentless pace that forces opponents to retreat. He mixes in nearly 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. He hunts submissions with consistency. He is not simply a kickboxer with jiu-jitsu credentials. He is a threat everywhere the fight goes, and he has never looked more dangerous. Through it all, he has carried a distinctive identity, the Dalmation. It is a name he chose deliberately, born from an opponent's insult that he transformed into armor. He paints his face before every walk to the cage, not as a gimmick, but as a message. He raises awareness for vitiligo with every appearance. He wants the children watching at home, who hide their skin, who refuse to be photographed, who believe they will never belong, to know that they are wrong. Different is not a weakness. Different is what makes you unforgettable. Now, at 29 years old, with 25 wins and 7 losses, his march toward the rankings is undeniable. 5 straight victories have positioned him on the doorstep of the top 15. Dan Ige stands in his way. Ige is ranked 14th in the world. This is the most significant test of Costa's career. A victory in Houston does not simply extend his streak, it breaks him into the rankings for the very first time. It is also a chance to prove that the boy who spent his childhood hiding has become a man the entire world cannot look away from. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.